What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube? Today, we got another episode of Bros Talking coming at you. Got my boy here, VKJ.
That's right.
And today's topic, we have a question from the Instagram guy.
From the gram.
Cameron asks, could you do a video about do's and don'ts of Thailand? So today, that's what the boys are going to be talking about.
Yep.
Because we've been to Thailand. We know all about it. So, and if you have a question for me, you can hit me up here, or you can also follow the Instagram, _Mark Haynes. You can ask me any question there, and I'll make a video about it. So, let's get into this. All right. So let's talk about some do's and don'ts of Thailand, traveling to Thailand. We all know it's a long flight. So before you go there, you're going to want a list of things to do and things to avoid. So
Yep.
first of all, things to do, I would definitely say the animals. You want to experience all that Thailand has to offer in the form of exotic animals that you can't find in most places in the world. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to start off with my do is going to be find awesome accommodations at very cheap prices. You can get really great hotels and resorts. You can check some of that kind of stuff out on our channels and stuff too. With like some of the places we stayed at might have been like $30, $40, $60 a night, where anywhere else, especially here in the United States, you'd be spending well over 100, 200 easily for the same type of accommodation. So do get great value for your accommodations.
And research it, before you go there.
Yep.
Look up different places that you might want to stay at. This brings me to something else, though. When you're researching places in Thailand, you might not know what places that you can't go to, because a don't that you can't do in Thailand is you can't talk bad about a business. Like online, there was a guy who posted about a hotel. He told people not to go there, and he said, he didn't like the place and people shouldn't go there. They put that guy in jail. So don't slander a business in any way.
Right. Well, you can maybe say it's bad, but you can't say, like a lot of times people here with a review will be like, I didn't like this place, I'm never going there again, you should never go there. And you can't say that. You can't say you should never go, because they'll send the police and they will arrest you in Thailand.
Yeah, so
freedom of speech is something that's very integral maybe here to the United States, but freedom of speech is not a world-renowned thing, that's for sure.
Yes, you have to remember that you're in, a part of the world where,
well, another one that goes along with that, along with the businesses, is talking about the big guy himself. You know what I'm talking about, Mark?
Yeah, so Thailand is a monarchy, so it's, they don't have elected officials. You pretty much have the king, like back in the old days, and the king, pretty much, he doesn't want to be disrespected. So if anybody says anything about the king, you say something bad about the king, it's 10 to 15 years in jail time. So
it's not like here where, let's say you're a Democrat or a Republican and you happen to not like the president, and you can say, oh, I hate the president, he's the worst, he's the piece of shit, whatever. If you do that in Thailand, they arrest you, they throw you in jail 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, so if you're going to Thailand, it's probably best just not to say anything about the king.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, because you don't want anything to be, misunderstood or taken the wrong way, because, they're very sensitive over there. That's something that they don't take lightly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what other do's and don'ts do you have?
I think, very important one. Because if you're traveling to Thailand, let's see, we need a hotel. We talked about hotel. We talked about some of the businesses stuff. Okay, fine. But you're going to have to get around in Thailand, okay? So one of the things that you're going to do, no matter what kind of transportation you're taking, is you need to know how much something is up front. If you ask someone to take you somewhere, it could be down the street, it could be across the country. You got to ask, and you got to say, I want to know how much this is.
Yeah.
Because let's just assume that, you're not even going very far. How much could it possibly be? It's got to be, a few dollars, whatever, right? No, you can never assume any price is going to be small, because we've had people, when we were in Thailand, try to charge us exuberant amounts of money where we literally had to stop and jump out of taxis and stuff, yelling and screaming at people. It was really horrible because they were trying to take advantage of us. And you can avoid all of that by just knowing up front.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say do discuss the price with whatever kind of business transaction you're doing.
Anything.
Whether it be, a taxi or, I guess a restaurant, you won't really have to ask the price. But anything else,
Entertainment.
Yeah, if you go to get a massage or something, discuss the price beforehand, because you don't know, you don't want them to provide a service and then tell you the price. So I would say make sure, and taxi drivers are notorious for ripping you off.
Yes.
No matter where you go. So you want to have that firm discussed and have a price given to you. Okay, you're going to take me here and I'm going to pay you this amount. And another thing along those lines, I would say, is don't take the tuk-tuk drivers, which is the taxis that are on a motorcycle and they have a little seat and a little cart in the back, and it's attached to a motorcycle. Those guys are the worst at ripping you off. So
those guys are probably the most. Well, that's kind of like the quintessential. You see in the videos or in movies and stuff, or people getting these crazy Asian type taxis going around. And if you're going to do that, you're going to be tempted to do it, because I've never seen things like that anywhere else in the world. And the bottom line is, no matter what, you need to know, be like, listen, how much is this going to be? And then once that's agreed upon, you're fine. But you can't, it's not again, if you're from New York City or something, you get into a taxi, the meter's running. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at the meter, and you're like, okay, and it's adding up as you're going. But it doesn't work like that in Thailand.
There's no meters.
There's no meters.
They tell you whatever they want to tell you, whatever price.
Yes. So that's, again, it's something that if you're just not used to doing, you have to do. Anyhow.
Also, I'd say, people watch these movies, you might watch The Hangover where they're in Thailand. Just remember the movies aren't real life. So
no.
Especially with stuff like The Hangover, people will go to Vegas or Atlantic
City. But wait a second.
Something.
There is something about The Hangover that is real.
Oh.
And the thing that is real is the lady boys.
Yes, so the lady boys, that is a real thing.
Real.
There's a lot of lady boys. So another thing I would say for the dues is don't be afraid to ask if someone's a lady boy or not, because a lot of these lady boys, transgenders, they look like real women over there. And if you meet somebody and you're looking to whatever, you go on a date or whatever you do, you don't want to have any surprises down there. And it's not like in the United States where a woman might be offended if you ask, hey, are you really a man? Over there, it's not like that, because the biological women over there, they're impressed by the lady boys. They'll actually be like, oh no, the lady boys are beautiful. So if you ask one, hey, are you a lady boy? And she's like, no, I'm not pretty as the lady boys or something. So it's not an offensive thing to them over there.
Also, too, I think that wherever you're from, I'm not sure how many lady boys or transgenders but it's where we're from, it's not a very common thing, okay?
I mean, it's getting more and more common, but...
but still, whether people talk about it on the internet or whether people, you see it on the news or whatever, I'm talking about everyday life. I'm going to the grocery store. I'm not seeing, what I'm trying to get at here is it's very, very popular there in Thailand, especially in Pattaya and Bangkok.
Yeah.
So and people travel from around the world to experience that kind of stuff there. So, that being said, trying to discern one person from another person can get very difficult, because it's It's a lot. I mean, we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of lady boys.
I'd say maybe 1 in 4 is actually a biological man.
Probably.
1 in 4 women.
And then on top of that too, some of the, I guess, ladies actually have fully transitioned.
Yeah.
So they have all lady parts,
but they were born a man.
but they were born a man. And since men there are kind of feminine in stature, it's really hard to tell.
Yeah. So just ask, basically.
Yes, you have to ask.
Nobody's offended, like, over there.
No.
No one will be offended if you say, like, are you a woman? Are you a lady boy? Are you a lady boy who's had the surgery and now,
You got to walk up and do the Crocodile Dundee.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I would just ask, because it's not.
No, don't do that.
Because it's so common there that it's not like a taboo topic to talk about. It's just like, it's like discussing, what you're having for dinner or something over there. It's like nothing.
I have another don't, and that is don't go to Thailand with money with any markings, creases.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Stamps. Like, it's very common here for you to go to the bank and then they hand you currency, or you have money and there might be writing on it. There might be someone's name, might be a stamp, a crease, a rip, a tear.
Yeah, a little doodle, like.
If you take that into a bank and try to exchange it in Thailand, they will automatically reject it.
Yeah, the money has to be completely immaculate, like pretty much freshly printed, like $100 bills. It's without like any little creases or tears, or else it's useless. They tell you, we can't exchange this. So So then you have these bills in your wallet that you can't even use. They're worthless over there. It's just taking up space in your wallet,
And it can be very infuriating too, because people will tell you that either the bills aren't real or they can't be used or whatever. And it's something where you're not going to think about it here. You're going to look at $1 here. You're going to use $1, 100 or whatever, your 50s, 20s here. And no one's going to bat an eye at it here. But as soon as you go there, it is very strict. It is the most strict country I've ever been to and exchanged.
Yeah.
So even if you're at your bank here and you're telling them, hey, I need these bills to be like, really nice, they're even going to treat you weird. There's been plenty of times where the people are like, what are you talking about? This bill is fine. I don't know, what's your problem? And I said, yes, it's fine to you and me, but when I go there, it's going to be a problem. So you got to can't stress that enough.
Yeah. So I think those are the main things, though. Other than that, if you're going to Thailand, just to try to have a good time and enjoy yourself, and as long as you don't say anything about the king, or try not to slander anybody, then you should be able to stay out of trouble and have a good time when you're over there.
Yeah, cheap accommodations, cheap food. Most of the things, fun is entertainment's pretty cheap. Overall, it's a very, very cheap place to have a great time. And if you really want to visit a location that makes you feel like, I always joke around with people, it makes me feel like I'm on another planet. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so different. The language, the people, the food, the money. It's practically like you're on some episode of Star Wars or something. So
yeah, so if you want to, so Thailand's a good place to go if you want to feel like you're in a strange new world and you want to check something out. Just keep our tips in mind if you're planning on going to Thailand, of the things that you should do and don't do.
The Bros Knows.
And that is it for another episode of Bros Talking. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.